2000 to 2010, further expansion. In 2001, Henry McKinnell became Chief Executive Officer of the company, replacing William C. Steer, Jr. In 2002, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation purchased stock in Pfizer. In 2004, the company received approval for Lyrica, pregabalin, an anticonvulsant and anxiolytic medication used to treat epilepsy, neuropathic pain, fibromyalgia, restless leg syndrome, and generalized anxiety disorder. The United States patent on Lyrica was challenged by generic manufacturers and was upheld in 2014, extending the expiration date to 2018. In 2016, the drug had sales of $4.2 billion. In July 2006, Jeff Kindler was named Chief Executive Officer of the company, replacing Henry McKinnell. On December 3, 2006, Pfizer ceased development of torcetrapib, a drug that increases production of HDL, which reduces LDL thought to be correlated to heart disease. During a Phase 3 clinical trial involving 15,000 patients, more deaths than expected occurred in the group that took the medicine, and the mortality rate of patients taking the combination of torcetrapib and Lipitor, 82 deaths during the study, was 60% higher than those taking Lipitor alone, 52 deaths during the study. Lipitor alone was not implicated in the results, but Pfizer lost nearly $1 billion developing the failed drug and its stock price dropped 11% on the day of the announcement. Between 2007 and 2010, Pfizer spent $3.3 million on investigations and legal fees and recovered about $5.1 million, and had another $5 million of pending recoveries from civil lawsuits against makers of counterfeit prescription drugs. Pfizer has hired customs and narcotics experts worldwide to track down fakes and assemble evidence that can be used to pursue civil suits for trademark infringement. In July 2008, Pfizer announced 275 job cuts at its manufacturing facility in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Kalamazoo was previously the world headquarters of Upjohn Company, which had been acquired as part of Pharmacia. Acquisitions and mergers. In June 2000, Pfizer acquired Warner Lambert outright for $116 billion. To satisfy conditions imposed by antitrust regulators at the Federal Trade Commission, Pfizer sold off or transferred stakes in several minor products, including Rid, a shampoo for treatment of head lice, sold to Bayer, and Warner Lambert's antidepressant Celexa, which competes with Zoloft. The acquisition created what was, at the time, the second largest pharmaceutical company worldwide. In 2003, Pfizer merged with Pharmacia, and in the process acquired Searle and Shugen. Searle had developed Flagyl, metronidazole, a nitroimidazole antibiotic medication used particularly for anaerobic bacteria and protozoa. Searle also developed Celecoxib, Celebrex, a COX-2 inhibitor and nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drug, NSAID, used to treat the pain and inflammation in osteoarthritis, acute pain in adults, rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, painful menstruation, and juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Shugen, a company focused on protein kinase inhibitors, had pioneered the use of ADP mimetic small molecules to block signal transduction. The Shugen facility was shut down in 2003 by Pfizer, with the loss of more than 300 jobs, and several programs were transferred to Pfizer. These included sunitinib, Sutent, a cancer medication which was approved for human use by the FDA in January 2006. A related compound, Su-11654, tosarinib, was also approved for cancer in dogs, and the ALK inhibitor crizotinib also grew out of a Shugen program. In October 2006, the company announced it would acquire PowerMed. On October 15, 2009, Pfizer acquired Wyeth for $68 billion in cash and stock, including the assumption of debt, making Pfizer the largest pharmaceutical company in the world. The acquisition of Wyeth provided Pfizer with a pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, trademarked Prevnar 13. This is used for the prevention of invasive pneumococcal infections. The introduction of the original, 7-valent version of the vaccine, developed by Wyeth in February 2000, led to a 75% reduction in the incidence of invasive pneumococcal infections among children under age 5 in the United States. Pfizer introduced an improved version of the vaccine in 2010, for which it was granted a patent in India in 2017. Prevnar 13 provides coverage of 13 bacterial variants, expanding beyond the original 7-valent version. By 2012, the rate of invasive infections among children under age 5 had been reduced by an additional 50%. 2010 to 2020, further discoveries and acquisitions. In 2010, Ian Redd was named Chief Executive Officer of the company. In February 2011, Pfizer announced the closure of its UK research and development facility, formerly also a manufacturing plant, in Sandwich, Kent, which at the time employed 2,400 people. In March 2011, Pfizer acquired King Pharmaceuticals for $3.6 billion in cash. King produced emergency injectables such as the EpiPen. On September 4, 2012, the FDA approved bosutinib, Bosulif, for chronic myelogenous leukemia, CML, a rare type of leukemia and a blood and bone marrow disease that affects primarily older adults. In November 2012, Pfizer received approval from the Food and Drug Administration for Xeljanz, tofacitinib, for rheumatoid arthritis and ulcerative colitis. The drug had sales of $1.77 billion in 2018, and in January 2019, it was the top drug in the United States for direct-to-consumer advertising, passing adalimumab, Humira. On February 1, 2013, Zoetis, the agriculture division of Pfizer and later Pfizer Animal Health, became a public company via an initial public offering, raising $2.2 billion. Later in 2013, Pfizer completed the corporate spin-off of its remaining stake in Zoetis. In September 2014, the company acquired Innopharma for $225 million, plus up to $135 million in milestone payments, in a deal that expanded Pfizer's range of generic and injectable drugs. On January 5, 2015, the company announced it would acquire a controlling interest in Redvax, expanding its vaccine portfolio targeting human cytomegalovirus. In February 2015, the company received approval from the Food and Drug Administration for palbociclib, Ibrance, for treatment of certain types of breast cancer. In March 2015, the company announced it would restart its collaboration with Eli Lilly and Company surrounding the Phase 3 trial of tanezumab. In May 2015, Pfizer and a Bar-Ilan University laboratory announced a partnership based on the development of medical DNA nanotechnology. In June 2015, the company acquired Nemenrix and Mencevox, meningococcal vaccines, from GlaxoSmithKline for around $130 million. In September 2015, Pfizer acquired Hospira for $17 billion, including the assumption of debt. Hospira was the largest producer of generic injectable pharmaceuticals in the world. On November 23, 2015, Pfizer and Allergan announced a planned $160 billion merger, in the largest pharmaceutical deal ever and the third largest corporate merger in history. The proposed transaction contemplated that the merged company maintain Allergan's Republic of Ireland domicile, resulting in the new company being subject to corporation tax at the relatively low rate of 12.5%. The deal was to constitute a reverse merger, whereby Allergan acquired Pfizer, with the new company then changing its name to Pfizer plc. On April 6, 2016, Pfizer and Allergan terminated the merger agreement after the Obama administration and the United States Department of the Treasury introduced new laws intended to limit corporate inversions, the extent to which companies could move their headquarters, the amount of taxes they pay,